Hello, gorgeous Capricorn, and welcome to June 2020. Now, this is a month, so we are going to be doing some really powerful deep diving. We have two eclipses. We have Venus going direct, we have Mercury going retrograde, and we have some really important shifts, including Mars entering Aries this month. So there's a lot going on, and it's a very evolutionary month, and it's very much about closing out big chapters. Really big chapters getting closed out at this time. And of course, this month is also one of my favorite times of year, which is the summer solstice, where I really feel that this is that point where we can see ourselves fully. It's the winter solstice also in the southern hemisphere, so no matter which solstice point you're at, these are always really beautiful points to fully see ourselves and understand ourselves and where we're going next. Now, for you Cappies, this is going to be a powerful month because as we have all this energy starting to move toward Cancer, we're going to have a lot of energy working with you in that mirroring oppositional sign, which always helps us whenever we have a whole bunch of energy in our opposing sign. See ourselves clearly, reconnect with who we are, and adjust anything that is really out of whack. This is also a time where, relationships are re-examined and you can get closer, and in some ways you can close things out. So I'll just tell you about a few of these big moments in the month, and then we will get right into the cards. And we're just going to focus in on 4 cards this month because there's so much going on. We really need crisp, clear messages to work with us. So June 5th and the 6th, we have this full moon in Sagittarius that's also a lunar eclipse. It will be slightly visible over a lot of Europe, Africa, and Asia, but this is not a full eclipse, but energetically it's powerful. This full moon eclipse is going to be hitting your 12th house, right? Your spiritual hidden seeking house. So this is a really great way to tap back in to what it is you want to take from that hidden secret world and put into the world, and to release any old ties to the way you've been doing things. We have Mercury starting its retrograde in Cancer, your 7th house oppositional sign, on June 18th. And that will go until the 12th of July. And we have the sun moving into Cancer. We have the solstice. We have a new moon in Cancer with a solar eclipse that will be visible over parts of Asia and Africa. And that's also in your oppositional sign. So you can see how this energy is really asking you to dive deep into that hidden 12th house energy, and then to dive into mirror season, into this energy of Cancer, your oppositional sign. Now, this is also interesting because this is the last eclipse in Cancer, right? The eclipses have been hitting Cancer, Capricorn, 4 of Pentacles, for a year and a half or so, a little over. And so this has been, we've been doing the work, and Cancer Capricorn axis is lit up by all that work. Knight of Pentacles. Okay, a lot of cautious energy we're starting off with here as we go through this month. I don't think that's a bad thing, actually. This is a really great month to be observational of yourself and others. And actually the message that I had for you when I sat with Cappies and I was feeling through your energy and feeling through what it was that wanted to come forward and speak to me, that this is a moment of balancing and harmonizing for you, and also a little bit of a reflection over what you can let go over this really powerful time when all this energy has been in Capricorn. We're going to be closing out a lot of this heavy hitting energy in your sign by the end of this year. And this month is a really great month to allow yourself to shed a skin. But I want you to find the love within the waiting, the love within the reminders, and the love within the remembering. And I think the biggest word that came to mind for Capricorn when I felt through your energy was remember. Remember who you are. We forget. King of Pentacles. Okay, we are just going to live the Pentacles life today, my friends. Remember who you are. These eclipses are here to help you remember that. This energy of Sun moving into Cancer, Mercury retrograde, Venus going direct and finishing her retrograde at the end of the month. These are all things that are helping you to remember who you are. At the end of this month, we also have this really symbolic thing happening, which is that on June 30th, the very end of the month, Jupiter, who has been going retrograde, is going to retrograde back into Pluto, who is retrograde, both in your sign. They're going to have another meeting. There will be a final one again when they're all direct later this year. But Jupiter is closing out some things here. So this is a time of reflection. This is a time, and High Priestess. Wow. Okay. This is a deep time of integration, reflection. And now here's the thing. I'm talking about this remembering who you are, remembering what your path is in the world, remembering what it is that you want to be and came here to be. It's so easy to forget in our day-to-day. It's so easy to forget in what we're doing, in the world. We get so busy having to be, wear all these hats. And then there's that remembering that we can come back to. There's a lot of power and movement in the remembering. I often think that in sitting and watching and observing the way that these cards are showing up, actually all 4 of these cards are extremely observational. 4 of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. They all observe from a place of deep, paying attention to detail, right? Paying attention to what is around and within you, seeing what is around and within you. And I think we often think that is going to be kind of a disempowered stance. That's going to be a place from which we are letting life happen to us and we are the object and not the subject of the story, right? It's very easy to feel that way when you see this kind of energy, or when you feel like you should be moving on things, but you can't, and you feel like when you try and push, it doesn't happen, right? We do so much in letting ourselves move forward in the world when we don't push on an agenda that's based on this idea of who we're supposed to be. And we listen a little bit more deeply. The efficiency with which we learn and grow is exponential. And that's what I'm seeing here. 4 of Pentacles does make me think, 4 of Pentacles and Knight of Pentacles does make me think about a big shift in life that you can kind of see on the horizon, right? You can see it over there. It's on its way. And it's, it's something you want, but you're nervous. You're a little bit nervous. Like if somebody was going to ask you to throw it all out there tomorrow, it would be like, whoa, I need a minute to sit here and look around. And yes, the shadow side of that is that you can hold yourself still for too long, right? You can hold yourself still for years thinking, well, I'm waiting for the perfect time. And of course, we all know there's never a perfect time. Something that's scary or intimidating or new to learn is always going to feel a little bit overwhelming when we start. But the positive light side of this energy is that we can take that time to realize that it's right there on the periphery. It's right there on coming up. And that this is a perfect time to culminate, to release anything that we're still holding on to from who we thought we had to be, or who we had to love, or who we had to be around. This is a great time to honor that, acknowledge it, journal it out, write it down, let it out of your physical body actually, and release it and let it be so that you can open up to what's next. And I think this is such an important part of the process. When we don't give ourselves that time to fully learn and integrate the information of whatever lessons we've needed to learn, big or small, what ends up happening is we go back to those lessons in different forms and different formats until we take the time to integrate it, right? So this is a perfect time to do that, because here's the thing. You are being blessed by something really big and powerful here. King of Pentacles and High Priestess want the best things. These are very fertile energies. That's what I will say about these. These are very fertile energies for creating, earth and water elements here. And from doing it from the subtle position of small shift throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, and that building into something really big here. Blessings from the earth, blessings from the practical, the grounded, blessings from the spiritual, blessings from the unknowing, blessings from the leaning back into the fog. And this is a perfect harmonized balance between the two, right? We can take those practical, small, incremental steps that are based on us growing and expanding out of our comfort zone, and we can lean back into the unknowing and realize that we're not going to know the whole plan. Regardless, my friends, you are being asked to change hugely here. You're being asked to release who you've been. You're being asked to cut yourself free, disentangle yourself from the net, and feel the lightness and feel the freedom that then allows you to build something big and bold and beautiful. And this is a really important moment of check-in here. And I often think, we think sometimes, you hear about a month like this with a whole bunch of eclipses, the Mercury retrograde, with Venus retrograde doing most of the work the month and then going direct. All of that powerful energy that it's going to just be about the chaos and tumbling around in the world and everybody disagreeing and fighting. And, you do have pressure both on your 12th house of that mystery and on your relationships. But a lot of times this work actually happens in these weird little moments by ourselves, in these strange little clicking moments that happen throughout a month. And I will say this about this month as well. It's extremely powerful. There's a lot going on. It is just waves of energy moving us, shifting into completely new territory. Even this full moon in Sagittarius with this eclipse, this is the first of our eclipses in Sagittarius, and this is new. We're getting used to this newness, and it's really big energy. And in order to navigate that, being perceptive and being willing to witness yourself and others is huge. So I will say that right now. And I, of course, am going to be doing a whole bunch of extra work with these eclipses, with these retrogrades over on Patreon. I want to thank you all who have joined me. It has changed my life so much and helped me to take such better care of myself and not overschedule and take the time to really connect with you and create that beautiful community. So if you're looking for a space to dive a little deeper with me, to enjoy these eclipses coming up in June and to ride this energy and have ways to anchor in, I would love to be that support for you. So come join me over on Patreon. I'll leave the link below. Now I have a little solstice blessing for you. As the sun, as our relationship to the sun, our travels connecting to the sun shift on the solstice, I find this to be a beautiful place to bless ourselves, to remember in gratitude, to remember who we are, to reconnect with ourselves, to bask in the intensity of the light on either end of the spectrum. And I have a little blessing for you that I will toast to with my water here. May welcoming the waiting bring about swift, bright, clear change. May you feel light and free from who you have thought you needed to be. May the new colors of life be bright and warm and vivid. Cheers to you. And I do hope that this month brings about flashes of that vividness and that brightness and that warmth. You know what I love about your cards today is there's a stability to them. And this is sustainable growth rather than it being about swinging these pendulums, right? And like burning and crashing and then going over to the other extreme of like holding yourself back too much. This is very steady. This is very tortoise in the hare. This is the tortoise version of this, right? And that I think is a really powerful position to be in this month, because you won't have to be the one who's like causing a whole bunch of things. In your remembering and in your witnessing and observing, you're creating space for everything else moving around you to make clearer sense and for it to be easier to move in the right way. So kind of remember that if you feel observational, trust that and watch and pay attention. You'll be interested to see what starts to pop up for you. But also keep in mind, just one last note here, also keep in mind that if you are feeling resistant to change and if you're feeling like you want to hold on and you're scared to change and you're feeling like kicking and screaming a little bit against the changes coming about within yourself and within your experience, then kind of remember that this is also a time to watch that and witness that and notice where you're self-limiting or where you're holding yourself back and holding yourself in a container that you no longer want to be in. And just pay attention to both sides of that, because this energy here is quite complex. It's good to be observational. It's also good to know that the only way you're going to see what's next is if you step out from the cave within which, you're holding yourself now. The only way we're going to see the next horizon is to walk toward it. And so that's also a reminder here. So it's a fine balance between being observational and taking your time, and also being bold and listening to your soul voice telling you that it is time to open this next door. And your soul voice is going to get louder as this month continues. By the time we get to the end of June, there's something going to click in for you that helps you take that decisive action that you're craving so deeply. So I love you so much. Take such good care of yourselves. Like I said, we are going to dive so much deeper on these eclipses, on these retrogrades, on these meetings in the sky over on Patreon, where I do tons of extra videos every single week. We check in at least a couple of times, and there's worksheets, and it's a great place to be. So I'd love to see you over there. I love you all so much, and you can also find me on my website and on Instagram at SarahVerba. I'll leave all my links below. And of course, I'm wearing PinkLune, as always, every day. So if you want some beautiful handmade, ethically sourced jewelry, you can follow her Etsy shop below as well. I will see you all for the next Moon Magic, and have a beautiful June.